Alright, quick update on JASMY. So we made a video for JASMY yesterday, roundabout here, and since then we have gone on a massive run up from the candle body opening. We went up approximately 26%, and we are coming down pretty sharply. We're only up 10% now. So what do I personally see happening for JASMY right now? So I think this could still potentially be a dead cat bounce. Do bear in mind the market structure necessarily hasn't changed at all. We have a high here with a massive wick, and previously we had a high here with a massive wick. If we come back, you can see we had a high here on a candle with a massive wick. Here we had a candle high with a massive wick here. So I mean, this is really like telltale signs, in my opinion, that this is a dead cat bounce. Every time we do have these, single day candles where we explode to the upside, every single time pretty much, it is a top. Like, I mean, if I'm just highlighting what I see going back, and you can see also here, we had another one of those days where we went on a massive rally, massive wick, kind of a massive wick here, massive wick here. I won't highlight every single thing that I see, but massive wick here and here. So as you can still see, let me get rid of all that because I've outlined my point. But every time that we do have these massive wicks to the upside, it is always a local top. So in my opinion, your best case scenario for JASMY, obviously the daily candle hasn't closed, so there's literally no decision been made whatsoever. We could either have very good bullish continuation, close the candle somewhere around about here or down here, and it would look somewhat more bullish than it is now. Like I said, I mean, if we do come back to the hour being like unbiased and giving it the benefit of the doubt, we could have just broken out and we could be back testing this this key red line. So if you've been watching my JASMY videos, I have been saying I am bearish on JASMY until we do get above this red line, back test it, and then start breaking the more macro bullish structure. So for me personally, we have a wick up here. For previously, if I just zoom out, like every time we've had, or when we had this big downtrend, we, apart from once, we never really had one of these big wicks and then gone on to make higher highs. This was the only time that we really did, and in my opinion, I would say probably because this was a double top, so I would kind of exclude that out of the equation. But do bear in mind, it doesn't work out all of the time. It is, I'd probably say about 90% accurate. We've found at least 10 of these local tops, and only this one scenario where it came down and then went bullish again was basically the only time where it actually had a momentum change. I mean, if we flatten the data, you can perfectly see here, every time we have these big wicks to the upside, it is always a local high before we do come down. So what do I personally need to see for JASMY? Like I said, if we zoom in, I mean, this is really micro still. This is very short to midterm. Do bear in mind, like, I mean, technically we could even spike up to something like almost 4 cent, and the macro downtrend would still be very much in place. There's not really a linear line that I can draw, something like this, but obviously if I do a line of best fit to the previous highs, we could see something like this. Obviously this is just a line of best fit in my opinion, what I would personally be looking out for. And if we do zoom in, you can see basically this line of best fit kind of runs into where the top of this orange line is. So in the very short term, if we come down to the hourly, if we are back testing this red line and we do have another strong push up, so be it. I would be flipping my stance on JASMY, at least in the short term, and I would be somewhat more bullish. But if we do look at the RSI, basically went from 0 to 100 real quick. And from what I can see, we've pretty much double topped on the RSI. We're heading down. The money flow indicator, I mean, literally went from 2 to 95 in in a day or so. So in my opinion, this is very overextended. We have done this before. If we do look at previous times where we do kind of double top or have a high and then another higher low here, I mean, it is always signs that we are entering a downtrend again. I mean, we've got it here. If I come back, you can see the RSI top over here. This was literally a disgusting top, and then if we come back, you can see top here and a top here. So like I said, I mean, I will give JASMY the benefit of the doubt while we are above this red line in the very, very short term. For me to get bullish, I do think we need to come down and backtest this. Bear in mind, we have pretty much backtested this, but personally, you know, I would like to see, you know, an on-the-dot backtest and then a strong push-up. By the time we close our daily candle on the 10th, I would like it to close, you know, somewhat in this vicinity. I'd probably say if we don't close above, you know, 1.6 or 1.7, then we probably would have another one of these candles when we come back to the daily. We probably would have another one of these candles where we've got a massive wick to the upside, and, you know, that is normally a telltale sign that we're about to fall off the table. So, like I said, in the short term, I will give JASMY the benefit of the doubt as we are above the red line, but I'm personally not macro or even mid-term bullish on this. I'm not even necessarily that short-term bullish either. Like I said, I will be short-term bullish once we do backtest this and go off to the races. You can see, you know, we're heading down there now. We're very close to backtesting it. If we do fall through the table, like I said, nothing would have changed for me. I outlined in my video yesterday why I personally think this is a dead cat bounce. If we just kind of take a price chart, you can see, you know, a 59% move here, a 54% move here, and this was a higher low. From here, I won't make this about all of them, but a 35% one here. If we flatten this a bit, this one looks pretty fat. So from the low here, you know, this was up 96%. So do bear in mind, JASMY has done this a million times before. I'm sure people were extremely bullish when it went up 96% in a couple of days, and, you know, it was basically the top. Here you can see we basically, you know, doubled in value, or doubled in price. Sorry, the value hasn't changed. But yeah, I mean, what I'd be looking for, I would not be surprised, as we have had previous times where we've just gone up 2x. I would not be surprised if, you know, if we did backtest this red line, if we managed to get all the way up to the orange box here. But in the macro and in the, you know, somewhat midterm, market structure has not changed at all until we do break above this high here. And that's being pretty conservative, because if we zoom out, you know, once we break above this high, I mean, look how far we've come down. We've gone boom down here, and I'm saying, oh, if we pop our heads above this orange line, then, you know, we've got a little bit of hope. But, you know, it is very bearish in the macro term. This could be a bottom. Like, I'm not saying this isn't a bottom. What I'm saying is, if this is going to be a bottom, we do need to backtest this red line, and it looks like we're slicing through it now. Do bear in mind, this is the hourly chart, so I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this. I'd be looking at the 4 hour for a kind of sign on what's going to be happening. So this 4 hour candle, let's see, so 12, this will be closed in another 3 hours. So this is only open 1 hour ago. We have another 3 hours to go until we make a decision, in my opinion. But like I said, I mean, in the scheme of things, we can pretty much keep an eye on this, how it performs on the daily. Like I said, personally, I'm sticking with what I said yesterday. I think this is a dead cat bounce. We could even come up all the way up to here to, you know, 2 cents, and that would still be a dead cat bounce if we don't get above this orange trend line. So, you know, I said I'll give JASMY the benefit of the doubt while we are above this red trend line. We have broken below it since I started recording this video. And like I outlined with the hourly RSI, it just seems like we came, I mean, literally I said 0 to 100 here. But on the money flow indicator, I mean, we literally went from 2 to 95. So if that's not close enough to 0 to 100 in a day for you, then, you know, I don't know what it is. In my opinion, it may seem like we've topped out. I'm still sticking with what I said yesterday. I do think this is a dead cat bounce. If we do close the daily candle, and the daily candle looks like this, and it has a fat wick to the upside, then I would be very confident that this is about to fall over and start making new lows. So all in all, if you are a JASMY fan, I would be hoping, or I imagine you would be hoping, that we would close above, you know, the 149.15. I'd say we really need to close above this red line. If we don't close above this red line, I imagine within the next, you know, the next 4 or 5 days, we would be, you know, coming down very sharply. So that's pretty much all I see for JASMY. Do bear in mind, you know, we have had this slight bounce, but we are still down 99.5%. So, you know, while this is a very nice pump that we've done today, do bear in mind it has a very, very long way to go before it's proved itself. So that is all I see for JASMY. Best of luck to you. Keep an eye on this level here, 149. If we do close a daily above it, so be it. I will be at least somewhat, I don't want to say short-term bullish, because really I'll get short-term bullish once we break above this orange line. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt if it closes above this red line. I will need to see a break above this orange line here before I get bullish, which is once again at 229. And if we do close below this this red candle on the 4-hourly, I would be expecting a dump. If we do see a close below this red line on the daily, you know, I would be pretty much, you know, screaming that that's a local top. So that is all I see for JASMY. It's just my own opinion on the market. RSI and MFI as well on the 4-hour have basically gone from 0 to 100. So in my opinion, this is the top. So that is all I see for JASMY. Once again, best of luck. And yeah, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion on the market. And you've always got to do what's best for you. Peace.